After 2 seasons, Jonathan Smith is out as head coach at Michigan State. In another turn of chaotic events in this wild coaching carousel, Michigan State will be looking for a brand new head coach. The craziest thing is, they may have landed their new head coach and former Northwestern coach Pat Fitzgerald. How'd we get here? This is the fall of Michigan State football. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know what you think has been the wildest coaching change this year in the comment section below. Jonathan Smith was once viewed as the savior of Oregon State football. When everything was falling apart when it came to the Pac-12 conference and college football realignment as a whole, Smith was the one shining hope for the Beavers as he built them from a 2-10 season in 2018 to a 10-3 season in 2022 and an 8-4 season in 2023. He helped make the Oregon State football program relevant to a degree it had not been since he was quarterback of the school in the late 90s and early 2000s when he led them to a share of their first conference title in 36 years in 2000. Smith was an Oregon State hero. He was their savior. And then he decided to throw it all away when he would bolt for the Michigan State job, basically burying his alma mater as he would basically send the message the program was sinking and he was not going down with it. When Smith's name emerged as a top candidate for Michigan State's opening, Oregon State Athletic Director Scott Barnes said in a statement his priority was to provide Smith with a new contract and guaranteed compensation to keep him with the Beavers moving forward. Smith would decide to take the head coaching job at Michigan State. Smith was replacing Mel Tucker as head coach, who had been fired with cause due to sexual harassment allegations. The university cited Tucker's admitted and undisputed behaviors, which had brought public disrespect, contempt, and ridicule upon the university, as a reason for his termination in a statement. When Tucker was originally fired, possible head coaching candidates included Smith, Kansas State head coach Chris Kleiman, Kansas head coach Lance Leipold, Colorado OC Sean Lewis, Duke's Mike Elko, and Iowa State's Matt Campbell. Smith inherited a program that would be coming off a 4-8 season in 2023 and a 5-7 season in 2022, but played in the Peach Bowl in 2021 when they went 11-2 behind the legs of Kenneth Walker. The Smith hire for the Michigan State was viewed as a good one. Nicole Auerbach wrote for The Athletic in 2023, the Spartans wanted a program builder who could return Michigan State to its blue-collar ethos, and Smith fits that mold perfectly. He's won in hard places to win, and he's very unassuming. I've been told he'd been on MSU's radar since the search began, and that makes him perfect sense for the school's side. For Smith, it's obviously difficult to leave your alma mater, especially in a time of great uncertainty, but this is a clear step up into one of the 2 leagues with the greatest financial stability. According to The Athletic, this was the second best job opening during the cycle, behind Texas A&M, who would proceed to hire Mike Elko. The Spartans had reached 4 BCS New Year's 6 and college football playoff games since 2013, won 2 Big Ten titles in that span. The job was viewed to have a high ceiling, although they missed a bowl game in back-to-back years. You would have Sam Levitt, Noah Kim, and Caden Hauser on the roster to play quarterback. Instead of going with one of those 3, though, Smith would instead bring in highly touted sophomore Aiden Childs, who threw for 309 yards and 4 touchdowns, and rushed for 3 touchdowns on the ground in 9 games as a freshman with Oregon State. Michigan State Athletic Director Alan Haller said Smith has a proven track record of success building the Oregon State program from the ground up by implementing a plan resulting in sustained historic success for the Beavers. He's shown not only the ability to recruit talented student athletes who fit his system, but also to develop and maximize players once they're in the program. At his core, he's a quarterback coach, and throughout his career, he has been instrumental in the development of young quarterbacks, which is essential in today's college football landscape. In a news release, Michigan State fans were given flashbacks to John L. Smith, who was head coach from 2003 to 2006 and went 22-26 before being replaced by Mark D'Antoni. There was seemingly hope around the Michigan State program, as they got what was viewed as one of the best gettable candidates during the coaching cycle. There was optimism that they got one of the big fish, and they brought in a quarterback with superstar potential with him. That optimism began to go away as they escaped against Florida Atlantic in their home opener and beat Maryland 27-24 in College Park. They would then beat Prairie View A&M 40-0 to start the season 3-0. Loss to Boston College began a 3-game skid that included losses to number 3 Ohio State and number 6 Oregon. They would get their first major win by beating Iowa 32-20, would proceed to lose 4 of their last 5 games to Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Rutgers, but beat Purdue. CBS Sports' David Cobb gave Smith a C grade in his first-year performance. Cobb wrote, "Smith inherited a mess and nudged the ship back towards the right course, as Aiden Childs earned a season worth of valuable game reps. The hope is that his experience will pay dividends, and the Spartans can use the lessons of a frustrating year one as a foundation for year two strides." Most sportsbooks set the season win total between 4.5 and 5 games. The Spartans were picked 16th out of 18 Big Ten teams in the league's unofficial preseason media poll. The 41-14 loss to Rutgers in the season finale cost them an opportunity to play in a bowl game. On National Signing Day, Smith said, "We got to get better. I'm optimistic with some of the young talent that is currently on the roster. I think about Aiden and watch his development in his first year as a starter, and really statistically, on the back half of the season, he improved. We've got to take steps at the line of scrimmage, and we've got a couple players that have a chance to get back and get better. We've got some young talent that needs to continue to work, and we've got to add to that position. You flip in on the other side, same thing. We've got some young talent that's got some meaningful reps, especially in the back end, and those guys take a step will be important. So I've got some confidence. If you can have our hit rate in the transfer portal like we did last year, then the current guys, young talent, or maybe guys headed into their last year, we all got to take a step and improve. Include the coaches in that. First year, going through the experience of my schematics and that. That's some of the parts that I love the most in college football. Schematically, how we're developing and going. We've got to take a step as coaches too." Heading into the 2025 season, there was slight optimism around the program. They were projected to win 4.7 games with 66% of their returning production, 71% on offense and 62% on defense according to ESPN. Phil Steele projected them to finish 14th in the Big Ten with the 4th toughest Big Ten schedule and 5 Big Ten road games. Yet Phil Steele felt the defense was going to improve going forward. ESPN's Bill Connolly wrote, "I doubt it takes Smith until year 4 to get going at MSU the way it did at Oregon State, but I'd be surprised if it happened in year 2. Child's development remains in process, and he'll have a mostly new skill room around him. Sophomore receiver Nick Marsh and tight end Jack Velling are solid, and Smith added fun lower-level transfers such as running back Elijah Tolliver from Sacramento State, and receiver Omari Kelly from Middle Tennessee, Kreishawn McCray from Kent State, and Rodney Bullard Jr. from Valdosta State. The offense will undoubtedly improve after ranking 119th in offensive SP+, but there's a mountain to climb back to mediocrity. Spartan Avenue projected them to finish 7-5 and 4-5 in conference play. The season started off in a positive way as they would start 3-0, once again with wins over Western Michigan 24-6, a nail-biting win over Boston College 42-40, and a 41-24 victory over Youngstown State. But then the season would fall apart as they would lose 8 straight games falling to USC, Nebraska, UCLA, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Penn State, and Iowa. That Iowa game was a painful one as they led the Hawkeyes 17-0 heading into the fourth quarter, allowed Iowa to tie the game with a minute and a half left, kick a game-winning field goal as time expired. Talks about firing Smith began before the Iowa game, but things would really begin to heat up after their 28-10 loss to Penn State and the aforementioned loss to Iowa. CBS Sports' Rob Callan wrote, "Morale around the Spartans football program is at a low point. As fans grow concerned, they've been lapped by the top teams in the Big Ten." His buyout was $32.5 million. While the Spartans would close out the season with a 38-28 win, it would not be enough to save Smith's job. Jonathan Smith would be fired today after a 9-15 record. Spartan Avenue would give him a C/C- grade, but gave him credit for top 30 recruiting classes. Connor Muldowney from Spartan Avenue wrote, "Michigan State fans like Smith as a person, but he just didn't mesh with the program's hard-nosed culture. He just never showed the emotion that everybody wanted to see from a coach. He watched multiple games slip away from him in the fourth quarter, and he had the same emotionless expression on his face. Fans want more fire. Michigan State is now expected to hire Pat Fitzgerald to replace Smith. Fitzgerald led Northwestern to 10 bowl games, 5 bowl wins, 2 Big Ten Conference title games, appearances, and a 110-101 record. Fitzgerald brought Northwestern to levels the program had not experienced since Dick Hanley coached the Wildcats from 1927 to 1934. The biggest issue is the fact that he went 4-20 in his last 2 seasons at Northwestern, though he led them to a 7-2 record, capped by a win in the Citrus Bowl and a top 10 finish in the AP poll during the COVID-shortened 2020 season. They did have losing records though in 2019, 2021, and 2022 though. He was fired after details surfaced over a hazing scandal, but he would reach a settlement with Northwestern over a wrongful termination lawsuit. Michigan State's athletic director said, "Michigan State football has a proud history. history that includes national championships, Rose Bowl victories, Big Ten championships, and a college football playoff appearance. The standard for our program have not changed. It is our expectation that we compete for championships. While we will have a new head coach next season, we must also do more as a department to support the program. We as an administration are fully aligned to take the necessary steps to position our program to compete at a high level. We are committed to providing an increased level of donor investment, department resources, and enhanced infrastructure to effectively and efficiently deploy those resources. Fitzgerald has Big Ten Conference experience, but has not coached at the collegiate level outside Northwestern since 2000, when he served as a grad assistant at Maryland and Colorado, and a linebacker and safeties coach at Idaho in 2000. He could find success at Michigan State after struggling at Northwestern in the NIL era, which is hard to grade because it's Northwestern. I don't feel great about this hire and how he will perform at Michigan State. But what do you think? How would you grade the Pat Fitzgerald hire for the Spartans if it turns out to be the case? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.